Do you feel connected to the person you were as an adolescent?
I'm very, very, very different to who I was when I was a young boy. I mean, I remember it, but I remember it with humor. Like, I remember it and I laugh. I'm like, wow, I was so silly. I was so weird back then. And, you know, with life experience and developing confidence and understanding of who you are and why you had those feelings and why. When you're a young boy, you're a teenage boy. Teenage boys are fucking dangerous.
Yeah,
man.
they're the worst.
They're the worst.
If you see a group of them now, I'm talking about my country, 13, 14 years old, I'll cross the street.
Yeah.
They're lawless.
Yeah. Well, yeah, young boys are they're always looking to impress each other, and they have these boys. You know,
in
it's mostly
purest
exaggerated
form.
in men. The way it's described is mostly exaggerated in terms of the way the media talks about it, but in its purest form. And teenage boys, they get together and they start lighting frogs on fire and doing shit. They do things like what one boy would do is so different than what 5 boys would do. What 5 boys would do could be horrific, but what one boy would do on his own is very rarely there. Because you have to think about yourself and think about, is this right? And you objectively analyze the way you're behaving. But when you're with 5 other boys and you're all rambunctious and filled with piss, you wind up doing crazy things. And then you have email and you have Twitter and Facebook and Instagram, and just there's no way. This is a new thing for people. There's never been a time where people have had this instantaneous interaction with people, unfiltered, unmoderated, globally.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very strange to be able to do that and to be able to go back and forth and just to be able to give your comments on things, to be able to talk about things. It's very addictive to people.
Yeah, like I'm essentially a monk in a marriage. That's basically where I live. Get up, meditate, do yoga, do exercises, do things that are positive for you. Watch the way that you're thinking. Where, again, with your own, do you feel... with your own, do you feel connected to the person you were as an adolescent? That you have literally built something for yourself, you operate within it, and you are quite protected, and you are independent and not forced to deal with too many negative outside influences. But in unavoidable dynamics, the unnecessary dynamics, like as a father and dealing with colleagues and stuff like that.
Do you experience a lot of tension, anxiety? What has happened to that guy? Do you feel that you have transcended that? Because I do in my own life. I feel like, I'm not the adolescent boy I was. I've learned from that, and I still, in a very sort of COD psychological way. You know, that's the BJJ classes I'm doing over here with Professor Ricardo Wilkie, amazing guy. Like when I'm doing those classes, I have
There's always going to be unaddressed and undeveloped aspects of your